Housing estates are an extension of a child's home. They are where children learn to ride bicycles, play football, and spend time outside of school, being children and having fun. But they should also be a safe place to play.
It was going on 6:25. We're all after been in the garden for a long time. They asked could they go to the green, and so I glanced up and I knew, and I said, "You can, baby." And I was stepping in with Savannah, and my attention was took to this car, and all I could see is my baby fly up in the air. And from the distance, I see him flew up. Like from what I seen him go up, I think I knew straight away. And I still have no memory running through all that with Savannah in my arms. And I got him and he collapsed in my arms. And he said, "Mammy, I don't want to die." And I said, "You're not going to die." But I knew it. I knew it. He was so cold. I tried. Then he was gone. I put my hand on his belly. And I seen the tire mark. And all I get is his brown eyes just went grey. People always say, how does she get her strength? It's what I seen in my baby's face that day. That shock, that fear, what it's done to my whole family. That if I can just save one family from going through what my little boy, and then I feel then that it was for something. Bring down the speed limits. Bring down and just drop the speed limits, whether in estates, in housing estates, because if it can happen here, it can happen anywhere. So please, please, just think of Jake. Just think of that little boy that should be 18 and should be 21, should have a life.
Oren was at his childminder's house, and I had arrived to collect him and had gone inside. He was playing outside. Went out to play with two of his friends in a green area in front of the house, and the next thing I knew was one of his little friends had ran in to say he was knocked down. I had heard maybe 2 or 3 weeks previous Roseanne Brennan talking on Ray D'Arcy's show about Jake and what happened to Jake, and automatically that was my first thought.
It was the very first thing?
Absolutely, yeah. I just thought, oh God, what am I going to be facing? And this is all going through my head as I'm running. So I ran maybe 30, 40 feet because it was literally outside the front door. I was down alongside him. The first thing he asked me was, "Mum, am I going to die?" And we just waited, and I kept saying, just talking to him. And I suppose what was going through my head was that if he was going to die, I wanted him to hear my voice. That would be the last thing that he'd hear. From our family point of view, everything has changed, like between physiotherapy appointments and play therapy appointments at the moment. He needs me, so it's affected everyone here.
Speed is huge, and the 30 km/h speed limits are there for a reason. We know that children and adults who are hit at a car going at 30 km/h are more likely to survive. For every 10 kilometres you go faster than that, you reduce the risk of survival. And the statistics show that the force that you're hit with and the force then that you hit the road with, you're more likely to have a traumatic brain injury that you won't recover from, or sustain severe chest injuries or intra-abdominal injuries. And it's really awareness that your car is pretty lethal, and in those environments it can cause a lot of damage.
People are going to look at this and think, "Oh God, that poor woman," and they're going to forget about it. Please, please don't forget about it, because I'm sitting here and I'm in real life. It happened to me and it's horrible. It's horrible. So please, please, all I can ask you is when this ad comes out, think for a minute and really take it in, because I didn't think this could happen. And this happens to me. This happened.